Tell me about some of these host cities that we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of searches about them. What are some of the games that you've got circled on your calendar? I know there's one happening in California pretty soon.
It's the first one that I have circled on my calendar. Austin, so great to be with you. So the U.S. men play Paraguay right here in L.A., technically Inglewood at SoFi Stadium on Friday. And that's really what we expect to see set the tone, both for the U.S. men's team and also for the tournament overall, as we are one of 3 host countries. There are 2 host cities in Canada, 3 in Mexico, 11 here in the U.S. from coast to coast, ending in your neck of the woods, Austin, over at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. That's where the final is being played. You asked about other games that I have circled on my calendar. There are 2 I want to talk about. One is Brazil versus Morocco in the first round, and Norway versus France later this month. Both of these are kind of elimination round level matches. They have the potential to be anyways, because Morocco is seen as an underdog that usually shows up with a lot of grittiness. And Norway is underrated on paper, although if you know soccer, then you know that they're not quite underrated at all, because they have one of the world's best players in Erling Haaland. Should be a really fun month, to say the least.
Yeah, a lot of good soccer ahead. Talk to me about Team USA. We're seeing a lot of searches. People are wondering just how far Team USA has made it in the past. What are your thoughts on this year's team?
Well, when you go into the past anyways, I mean, we could go way back to the first World Cup ever, which was almost a century ago. And we got 3rd place. We were designated with 3rd place. We only had to play 3 matches to get there. So that shows you how much the tournament has grown since then. There were only 13 teams that qualified in 1930. There are 48 teams in this World Cup tournament, which is an expanded one. Perhaps a more relevant timeline, though, was 2002, when we went to the quarterfinals. To get there, we beat Portugal, really big deal. We tied the hosts, South Korea, and lost to Poland, but that was enough to get to the round of 16, where we beat Mexico in a huge thriller, and then ultimately lost to the eventual runners-up in Germany. So that's to say, Ashin, that really anything can happen. You know, this team has a lot of talent on paper. They have performed individually for their clubs very, very well in recent years. But it's always been a question of how well can this cohesive unit come together in the men's world tournament stage. And that's yet to be seen. But as we've seen in the past, we can get some mixed results and still get through the next round. And maybe as the stakes get higher, more motivation and more synergy will come.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I can almost feel those fingers crossed from under the screen for you. A lot of questions for those who are not sports fans about who's actually performing at the World Cup this year.
Yeah, so a bit of a unique lineup, because there are 3 host countries, so there are 3 opening ceremonies. Shakira is a familiar name, really for anyone in the world, but especially when it comes to this kind of a tournament. She and Burna are headlining the Mexico opening ceremony. Katy Perry among the headliners here in the U.S., and Alanis Morissette, Michael Bublé, and other Canadian friends will perform north of the border. Worth mentioning that Shakira is to the World Cup what Michael Bublé basically is to Christmas. This is her 4th time performing in the World Cup. Some people have noted that this century, at least, she has been to more World Cups than some countries. No shade to Italy.
Christiane, before I let you go, a lot of people are wondering about Iran, if and when they're playing in this World Cup.
So they are, and it's obviously a lot happening around that geopolitically, but the logistics are also complicated because of that, among other things. So Iran is playing in the U.S. for all 3 of their matches. Their home base is actually Tijuana, which is just south of the border in Mexico, and so that's where they will train, where you're seeing images, I would imagine right now, because they arrived yesterday. And so that's where they're going to train and spend time in between matches. But as far as the matches themselves go, their first one is right here in LA later this, or actually a week from today. And then they play Belgium and then Egypt later this month, both in the US. Ashin.